in Bayheim! You suck!
Carolina basketball. You're probably thinking of this guy, or maybe even this guy, or possibly even this guy. But the biggest thing about Carolina basketball to me is this place, the Dean Dome, where it all goes down on the men's side. And on February 28, 2022, that's where we were for a long amount of hours. As we arrived to this basketball game at 4:30, and it started at 7. As students at UNC, we have to enter into the lottery process. And that is a week before, students are able to go into the Go Tar Heels website and enter into the lottery for a 48-hour period. Then about 5 to 4 days later, they tell you if you got in or not, and they send you an email that looks kind of like this if you did. And you're excited. But unfortunately, the process isn't over, because you have to wait until the day of the game to see what phase you got in. And the phase determines what time you can show up and basically where you're gonna sit. As we were lucky enough to get phase 1 thanks to Abby and Logan, because when you win the lottery, you also get an additional ticket towards you, so you can bring a friend. The phases range from phase 1 to phase 5. And if you're in phase 5, you're basically up in the sky. But luckily enough, we got phase 1, so we had the opportunity to be on the risers. And when we got to this line at 4:30, there was a good amount of people in the line, but not a lot. So we knew we had a shot. As the gates open, you know, the big rush. And since we don't have assigned seats with these tickets, it's basically a free-for-all. As you can kind of see, we're like running but walking, because I don't really run, in a very fast pace. And I tried to get clips of us going down the stairs, but when I tell you, I was actively trying not to break my neck. I really mean that. So maybe you'll just have to come to a game and show up stupid early to see the students running, because that's exactly what we have to do. But after we got down to the risers, that's when we realized, oh my gosh, there's an hour and a half before this basketball game starts, and now we have to stand here on these risers until 7 o'clock. And then the basketball game started. Now, if you watch this basketball game on TV, you know, or even watch the UNC basketball season, you know it was a whole lot of this. And it was even more of that when you were inside, as we started off a little slow, and then we finally got into the jiggy of it. And as over time, you know, we got into the game. But then the exciting part happened, and I'm gonna say it's about the last 4 to 5 minutes in the second half, as the game literally was point for point, back to back. And when I tell you, as you can see right here in this clip, my heart rate was just astronomical. I was like, Jesus Christ, help me. Now, it could be 1, because I was screaming, 2, because I had been standing for the past 4 hours, or 3, because I was aggressively so thirsty. And I was like, Lord, let me get some water. Let this game end in regulation. And then it got really good close to the end, as Caleb Love made that crazy shot to put the Tar Heels ahead, and then old dude on Syracuse, you know, he ended up making the shot to tie it and go to overtime, which, not saying that I didn't like any more basketball, but as I previously stated, I was aggressively so thirsty. And now we're into overtime, and this was basically the overall feeling from everyone in the stadium. But the Tar Heels managed to kick booty, or as you want to say, stomp on the oranges, and move on and win the basketball game. And I'm gonna be very transparent. This is supposed to be a vlog, whole thing situation, but I was so caught up in this basketball game that we're giving a fun little story time reenactment of what happened. And outside of all of this, looking back at some of these clips I got, I truly realized like how special college basketball is. If you listen to the podcast, which you should, Her Sports Convo podcast channel, check it out. New podcast episodes every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I talk about this so much, but as I was there with some of my friends who were graduating this year, like, it's such a special opportunity that we got to be so close on a good game, senior night. And when you see that and you get the craziness and the exciting moments, that's what I kind of wanted to share with you guys. So if you really like this style of video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which are on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As well as leave me a comment down below telling me who do you think is going to take the championship this year in the men's March Madness. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's your thumb. And don't be afraid to join the convo. And to the girl who confused Eric Montross and Tyler Hansbrough, I would really like to confiscate your one card.